I'm Amanda Kramer, and I'm the director of By Design.
And writer.
Oh,
And
and
writer.
writer. Thanks, Robin.
I'm Samantha Mathis. I play Lisa.
I'm Robin Tunney. I play Irene.
I'm Mamadou Ache, and I play Olivier.
I'm Juliette Lewis, and I play Camille.
Thank you so much for being here. Congrats on the film. I'm curious from your perspective. So you've described the film as body-based, but I'm curious how you think it's a unique twist on body horror. In the director's statement, you spoke about
Yeah.
or genre.
Yeah.
Body swap.
Yeah,
How different things?
Just see what.
Yeah, I think of it as, well, it's a body swap movie. I think of it as the kind of body horror film that is about the terror and horror of like desperation rather than the blood and gore of violence. I mean, desperation, I think, is pretty
Horrific.
horrifying. Yeah.
I also think we're so desensitized to blood and violence that it's actually more emotional. Do you know? You see so much of it, and you can feel Juliet's pain and Mamadou's pain on their faces and in their performances, and sort of like what's missing without them being splayed apart. The world is bloody enough right now. Like I'm sort of over it.
Well, it is a very unique way into this genre. It's a unique way of telling the story. So where did this come from for you? And how did you go about taking that from idea to like, okay, I'm actually going to tell a story about a woman because of
Yeah, I think a lot about envy. I think about it all the time and what we envy and why we envy it. To me, my films are like they're not very plot based. I call them theme jamming. It's like theme jazz, you know? Like I have an idea and then I'm like, every scene is just gonna be jazz solos on top of this theme, you know? I'm very lucky that actors will do that with me because I think sometimes actors are like, what is actually happening? And I have to be like, I'm not sure, but we will figure it out together. But I like talking about big feelings like envy and jealousy, and I like not doing them in such a didactic way where it feels like a lesson. And the thing about the body swap genre is there are these moralities always, right? The movie starts and you wish you were someone else, and then they wish that they were you, and then you swap bodies, and then the entire film is this long moral tale about how much you should love your own life and love yourself. And it's a journey to finding that out so that by the end of the movie, everybody wants to go back to their life. And you look at the husband or the wife that you thought you hated, and now you're like, I just love you for all of your things. And it's like, no, not in my film. In my film, you don't want to go back.
She wants
It's
to.
punishing.
Yeah. I love this about it because she wants to disappear even more wholly into the stratosphere, and you get that from the end. And so that was interesting for me to play somebody who's coming more alive the more they disappear from themselves. Um, it was a wild. I think of a toy, or no, it's a kaleidoscope. You know, when you turn the thing and
Yeah.
it turns in a different design. Oh, by design.
Well, how did you? I mean, your performance is so great in this film, but how did you approach that person in both playing the lifeless and Chip?
Well, I have to say, one, it was a huge game of trust and surrender, a thing I never do with my filmmakers, to a point. But with Amanda, I trusted and surrendered to the universe that she paints with every creative department. So that was pretty spectacular. But every shape and every still expression, I wanted to be expressing something poignant, but at the same time do nothing when I'm supposed to do nothing. Anyway, I don't know how we did it, but
Oh, there would be days where Robin and Sam would be so funny in a take, and Juliet would just be laying there, like kind of lifeless.
difficult.
And everyone behind the monitor would be like chortling so quietly, respectfully, but like this. And I would just be looking at Juliet being like, she's not breaking. She's just laying there. But I thought, as soon as I called cut, it was a lot of like, okay, like, you know, holding it in. Because it's so funny to have people act to you and around you, especially when they're being so charming and your eyes are open.
I also think Amanda's just an incredible leader and director. I feel like that's why everybody trusted her. There was never a moment about it was like surrender. How do you want my hair to look? What are we doing? And I felt so loved, and I would have done anything. It was just a trust exercise, and I feel like so grateful that I was a part of it and watching it last night. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, it was incredibly liberating and to be in this movie because Amanda has such a clear, specific vision that it was just about like surrendering to what she creates, which is so clear. And it was also such an incredibly nurturing set. I've never felt more at ease and trusting in my director and just giving myself over to what she wanted.
Now I have to say something very quickly. This is very important, and I hope that I get a chance to say it almost every moment today when I'm talking to people. Nothing in Hollywood is cool. It's very hard to find coolness. Coolness is ineffable. And every once in a while you come across it. I am sitting with 4 very cool people.
Well,
And when
I
I
don't
went
know what you're talking about.
and when I went to cast this movie, you know, you get like lists, you get like people are always like, "How about this person?" No. Like it has to be cool people. It has to be people that I am in awe of, that I respect. I would never, ever cast anybody just because I think they're a good actor. To be in dorkily, please excuse me, the Amanda Kramer universe, you have to be vibe. You have to be cool and funny and witty, and you have to be a good reader and read into the script and read onto the script. I don't even think of many of the things I've written as jokes. I don't even think of them as moments of sadness. To be a great actor that I trust, you know what you need to do tonally. And there were times when Mama would say something and I'd think, oh, that is so touching. And I'm not saying I have humility about my writing, but I wouldn't know that moment in particular would be touching. And it's the same with the humor. And I'm with cool people, and when I'm with cool people, I'm also at ease.
I just want to say for the record, I am not a cool guy.
Well, we're not like cool guys. Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
It's a film, but it is a mishmash of various art forms. There's dance, there's choreography. I'm curious about the practicality of that for these actors, because I imagine most of your jobs are for the cinematic form. It's not melding different art forms together. So what was the practicality of doing that in this film and mixing these different art forms together?
Well, I mean, you know, it's just part of. I never really think about anything like that, to be completely honest with you. It's just, this is what we do for this job. Do you know what I mean? This is how we tell this story. It's just another way to service a story. And the Sigrid, Lauren, and Amanda really helped us tell a story beautifully, whether it was, you know, our scene. How do we describe that scene, Julie?
No, the first day of shooting was when you had to transform out of the chair, and you were like overwhelmed. It was the biggest scene in the movie, and it was on the first day. And I'd never met Juliette Lewis before, and I was such a fan, and she was freaking out. But I was like, "Excuse me, I love you. I've loved you since Cape Fear. I loved Husbands and Wives." And I was like, "Wait a minute, you need to stop talking about her. She like needs some space. This is the hardest scene in the movie." And I was like fanning out.
That's so cool.
But that dance scene is amazing.
Yeah, but that, I mean, it's just part of the story, and I don't really like, oh, this is a different art form. No, this is part of this movie, and like, this is what we're doing. I don't know. It's as simple as that for me.
It's I guess it's a surrender thing again, where you're like, oh, this is what we're doing.
I was really excited by the choreography and who the choreographer that she picked.
Yeah.
Sigrid is spectacular and strange in her, you know, and I don't know, so special. When I say strange, I mean just something I would love and gravitate toward, movement and dance. And she was but also it's subtle because it's so specific to the telling of this story, the love story of a chair and becoming. So I just wanted to honor it and do a good job. And it's always very quick, the prep work. Yeah.
We had no
Yeah,
time.
in these. Sigrid was a person who she does dance like you can't even imagine. Just dance with a capital D. And I wanted her, and I called her, and I said, I don't know how well Mamadou and Juliet can dance. I think they can dance. They seem like people who are very in tune with their bodies when they act. So I think we'll be okay. But you might be walking through movement with them and it's not something they're used to. And she was just like, we will meet them wherever they're at. If they can do ballet and no one knows, we will do ballet. If they just want to stand and be danced around, we will do that. So, it's I have no preconceived notion. I know what the scene should look like in my mind, but there's no movie in my mind. It's only the movie that is made with these people. So I surrender to that too. And I get to set, and when I see them dancing, and especially with our dance troupe, the dancers that we hired, who are just like, you know, incredible, I am the first audience member, and I am seeing the magic, and I am in awe. So I know it works because I'm like, this is very special. I'm lucky to see any actor dance. To get an actor to dance, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming, and congrats on the film. It sounds like, film's a collaborative medium. It sounds like it was a very, very collaborative experience putting this together.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks
a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.